Well, at least I found a bread store and got some of the sourdough. Can't take it on board the ship, not like this, but I'll need to eat that a little later on when I get a place to sit down. Carbs be darned, it's traditional stuff, so let me enjoy it in peace. I think I'm going to sit down and try some of this bread. To be sure, this isn't a proper meal or anything like that, but it is the staff of life, so we can start with it. It is a very large loaf, all things considered. I am not going to be able to finish this, which is a bit of a shame. But, if I can't bring it on board the ship, it is what it is. How do I start in on this? Just tear off a piece. And you'll notice right from the start that it is browner than sourdough back at home. There it's kind of white. Here it almost looks like wheat in comparison. Let's see what it tastes like. The first thing that hits your tongue is that, yes, it is sweeter, but you take a few more bites and it's chewy as well. I admit, it feels like the sort of thing that you would need to put in a toaster. Or maybe it's because I generally toast my sourdough as it is. It probably could use some butter or maybe some cheese. It's a shame that I don't have any. It really does need something because, as our Lord says, man does not live on bread alone. Admittedly, he wasn't thinking of, butter or luncheon meat, so. It really is chewy. And it doesn't have, oh there, wait, okay. There, that was the sour. That just hit just a little bit. I mean, it's not like passion fruit sour or anything like that, to be sure. And oh boy, it is crusty. And even that isn't, a crunchy type of crust. It's very chewy. Very interesting. It's the sort of thing where, again, I'm not sure that I miss the fact that I can't get this at home. This isn't orders of magnitude better than what we have at home, but it is different. You get these occasional sweet notes to it, which is very unusual. But it's also kind of what I was expecting, because that's what I read about it. So it may be that I'm looking for it. Again, I'm not going to finish this right now, or I don't know that I'm going to be able to finish it at all. There's so much of it. But there's the experience. So, yeah, really could use some cheese. Maybe I'll find something on the way. Still, I've been here, done this. Now to find some, I hate to say real food, but something a little bit more filling. Besides, I need to be able. Besides, I need to be able to talk a little bit more, and with a mouthful of bread, it's really difficult. So I think I'm going to sign off for now. So. It's a real mouthful. Wasn't sure I was going to get back here, but after all this wandering around, I actually did manage to find the grocery store that they'd pointed out earlier. So, since I've got all this bread, might as well get something to go with it. Maybe some cheese? I don't know. Let's see. It's hard to figure out the pricing. I've gotten to the point where I think of the Kiwi dollar as kilometers and the Yankee dollar as miles, but that really doesn't work very well. Basically, 10 of one is 6 of another. They call it what here? Oh, and I've been hearing about this. Manuka honey. Huh? Try it, I suppose. Well, I'm afraid I wasn't able to bring myself to buy 500 grams or 200 grams even of cheese because I just wind up getting rid of it just like I would with most of the bread. So I did get a jar of honey. This is actually larger than the one I pulled off the shelves, and it's less, so I don't know what to make of that. And a can of passion fruit Mountain Dew. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot more of that these days for some strange reason. Don't know why. So there's that. Are we gonna have a little more bread? Maybe try the Mountain Dew here. But I think I've done most of my shopping as far as stuff to eat. So there isn't a particularly quiet place to do this, so just managed to find a spot in the shopping arcade on a step. Hopefully I'm not disturbing too many people. I'm gonna try this out. Now that I've had passion fruit in various forms, might as well see what it tastes like artificially. Honestly, the real thing is a lot more sour. You do taste the flavor though. It's not that bad. I'm just hoping it'll give me enough energy to get around and get back to the ship without being too tired and footsore. It'll probably do just fine, frankly. Although between this and the bread, I'm not sure I really want to know about calories and carbs today. At least I've probably gotten in my 10,000 steps. Heck, maybe I'll fill you in on that when I get back.
For what it was worth, I'd actually put in 20,000 steps throughout Auckland.
Not bad. Again, it's one of those things where if I never find it again, I guess I won't be brokenhearted, but it's nice to have tried it. It does taste very much like passion fruit now that I think about it. I mean, it has that sour bite to it, and I don't have to bite in those seeds, so yeah. That's a plus factor as well. Yeah, it doesn't have that stringy, natto-esque mouthfeel to it. But it's also quite artificial, but you know, it's Mountain Dew, what you expect. So. Anyway, I certainly needed the rest, so hopefully this will charge me up for the rest of the way home. Haven't found anything else to shop for. I'm not even sure if the honey's going to make it home, for that matter. It'll make it onto the ship because it's in a jar. But as for the bread, yeah, don't think so. And while I've made more progress on it than I thought I would, there's still an awful lot to it. So, yeah, it seems a shame to let some of it go to waste, but it's not like I can offer it to anybody else and say, hey, I'm not going to be using this. You want the rest of it before I go on the ship? It just isn't going to sit very well with someone else. Oh well, it is how it is. Anyway, that's about it for today's taste testing. So, it seems that most of the other native fare is probably something I'm more likely to encounter, according to our guides, at the Bay of Islands, where it's much more native. So, this is pretty much it, which which is probably more than I should be eating for lunch as it is. So, all right, well, one more recommendation from our guide, and I need to get it out of the rain anyway between now and whenever the ship leaves. So, there was this place called the Island Gelato. Apparently, it was founded by a native woman who started up in the Bay of Island, or no, one of the islands further out here, before finally getting into Auckland. They've got 4 or 5 locations here. Supposedly the best gelato in New Zealand. So here's to this. This is a sour cherry and rich chocolate. And not arguing with the sour cherry. It definitely, it's like, yeah, it's like chocolate covered cherries. It's, wow. Yeah, that is exactly what its name implies. Definitely has a Black Forest feel to it. And I know, I got 2 scoops, and I figure I've walked enough miles that I can get away with this, so might as well enjoy it. For what it's worth, I didn't finish the bread, although I think I got through most of the interior and almost all of the crust. Just the bottom half, just the bottom quarter or so. So, you know, I got my money's worth out of it, I think. And we've still got about 3 or 4 more hours to this place. But if this is going to continue raining, I'd probably just as soon get on the boat. There hasn't been that much to buy. I found myself in a couple of bookstores, but honestly, I have a book that I haven't cracked since I got here, and I don't know when I'm going to get to it, so there's no point in doing that. Besides, it seems like bookstores are starting to get political, and I feel like, for various reasons, I'm not exactly welcome there. You may have noticed a few flags flying in certain plazas, and I'm not any one of those stripes. So, obviously, you can see why I'm a little discomfited by most books that are going around these days. So, since I don't have the time to read one, I don't feel like being beaten over the head about various immutable characteristics that I have and can't change about me, I think I'm just going to take a pass. Books aren't what they used to be, which is fine because I've got the internet now. Now don't. But oh, this is good. I'm not sure it's quite as got my finger in there. It's not quite as sour as the Dole Whip, but that's probably because of the chocolate that's flavoring it as well. This is really very good. I mean, it was recommended to me, so if the locals should know what they're talking about, so I really shouldn't be all that surprised. I think I really enjoy this. Now this, I'm going to be sorry I can't find back at home. And while it's probably twice as much as I paid for the bread, I mean, it's a treat. It's worth it. So, yeah. So I think I've got enough footage of me eating as it is. So hopefully between that and my walkabout, I'll have something to send off to you by this evening. I know this is ruining my appetite, but that's probably just as well. The less I eat at dinner, the better off I'll be. So. Anyway, I don't think you need to watch me eat this whole thing. There's only so much I can say to you. And there's only so much you can watch without getting jealous of me. So I'm going to sign off and ask you to keep an eye out for me as always. And wish me luck because I'm still going to need it. Take care.